विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः। ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तन्न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। Let us recite verses from verse number 3. Sattvam rajastama iti gunaः prakriti sambhavaः निबध्नन्ति महाबाहो देहे देहिनमव्ययम् तत्र सत्त्वं निर्मलत्वात् प्रकाशकमनामयम् सुखसङ्गेन बध्नाति ज्ञानसङ्गेन चानघ रजोरागात्मकं विद्धि तृष्णासङ्गसमुद्भवम् तन्निबध्नाति कौन्तेय कर्मसङ्गेन देहिनम् तमस्त्वज्ञानजं विद्धि मोहनं सर्वदेहिनां प्रमादालस्य निद्राभिः तन्निबध्नाति भारत. So Lord Krishna is explaining the nature of bondage. The three levels of bondage is there, arising from sattva, arising from rajas, arising from tamas. See, it has become our habit to become identified with our mind. Even though basically, like in a movie, we are spectators. Our mind also presents before us a variety of thoughts. So mind is a thought flow. It is the nature of mind to keep on flowing in the form of thoughts. All these thoughts are divided into three categories. That's the method of analysis. So that we don't have to deal with countless thoughts. We deal with class of thoughts. All thoughts are divided into three classes. Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. So we are told the characteristics of each of these. When the mind has sattvic thought, that is, when the mind is predominant in the quality sattva, tatra sattvam nirmalatvat. The sattva is nirmalam, is pure, transparent. Imagine a body of water as in a pond, for example, in a lake, a small lake. Imagine the water free from all impurities, all surface disturbances. Suppose the water is calm, free from all impurities, then that body of water is transparent. And whatever is at the bottom can be seen or perceived very clearly because water is transparent. Similarly, when the mind becomes free from all impurities, what are the impurities? Raga and Dvesha, the attachment and aversion are called impurities. It is said because when these thoughts arise, we become disturbed. When the thought of attachment arises, I get disturbed. When the thought of aversion arises, again I get disturbed. So that which disturbs us, makes us unhappy, is called impurity. So when the mind is free from all impurities, like a pool of water, and the surface also is calm, then just as that body of water becomes transparent, so also our mind becomes transparent. And what is at the bottom of the mind? Self or the Atma, which is the nature of Ananda or happiness. Therefore, that mind reveals the happiness which is the nature of the self, because it is transparent. Therefore, when the mind becomes sattvic, since it is nirmalam, free from all impurity, transparent, therefore it reveals the happiness which is the nature of the self. Therefore, you feel happy. Also, when the mind is thus pure, it enjoys a concentration, it enjoys the power to grasp, enjoys power to know. Ideally, knowledge can take place in a mind which is undisturbed, which is pure, which is tranquil, which enjoys the poise or tranquility or peace. So when the mind is sattvic, enjoys peace, tranquility, poise, equanimity, cheerfulness. So that mind reveals the happiness which is nature of self. That mind also is conducive for knowledge. So that's how the mind is. But it has become my habit to become identified with the mind, even though I am a spectator of the mind. And mind is an object of my perception. I am the perceiver, mind is perceived. I am the subject, the mind is the object. We are not the mind, we are different from the mind. To remind you of that story of our Swamiji, this man comes to our Puja Swamiji. He says, Swamiji, I am restless. The Swami started teasing him. He says, you are not restless. You are all peace. Swamiji, I am restless. You are all peace. More Swami would say this, more that fellow would get excited and more restless he would become. Because there is no acknowledgement or validation from Swami. See, somebody is unhappy, you say, yes, it's right. And he feels comforted. He says, I'm restless, and you say, you're all peace, he doesn't feel validated at all. So he gets further, hurt. So third time Swami says, you're all peace. Swamiji, I am restless. And if we repeat that once more, there will be two restless persons. So then Swami did not repeat. He says, okay, how do you say you're restless? I know I'm restless. How do you say you're restless? I know I'm restless. My mind is restless. Okay, your mind is restless. How can you say your mind is restless when you are the knower of your mind that is restless? So we are always different from the mind, knower of the mind, which is what Lord Krishna will say. But it has just become our habit. Even though the mind is object, I am subject, and I am quite different from the mind, it has just become my habit to become identified with the mind. Even the body is my place of dwelling. I am the indweller of the body. Body is called Deha and self is called Dehi, the indweller of the body. The indweller is always different from the dwelling. The householder is always different from the house. So it is very clear that I am different from this body. It is clear that I am different from my eyes, ears, because I know whether I can see properly, I cannot see properly. How do I know? Only when the eyes are known to me. So I am the knower of my organs of perception, organs of action. I am the knower of my mind. That's the reality. That's why Adi Shankaracharya says, today is the 11th of May, Shankaracharya Jayanti, by the way. So Adi Shankaracharya says, Mano buddhyahankara chittainaham nacha shrotra jikhve nacha ghranetre nacha vyoma bhumir na tejo navayu chidananda rupa shivoham shivoham. He says, Mano buddhyahankara chittainaham. Naham, I am not. Manaha, buddhi, ahankara, chitta. These are all different modes of the mind. Manas is the emotional faculty. Buddhi is the knowing faculty. Chittam is the remembering faculty. Ahankara is the asserting faculty. They are all states of mind. I am not that. Nacha shrotra jikhve, nacha ghranetre. I am not the faculty of hearing. I am not the faculty of taste. I am not the faculty of smell. I am not the faculty of sight. Nacha vyoma bhumir tejo navayuhu. I am not the element space. I am not the element earth. I am not the element fire. I am not the element light. I am not the element air. I am not the 5 elements. I am not this body made of 5 elements. Because I am the witness. I'm aware of them. I'm aware of my body, is it not so? When we go to the doctor, don't we say, doctor, what has happened to my head? What's wrong with my stomach? Don't we say, my stomach, my head, my hand, my legs, my body? Don't we now and then say that? When we say my body, it is very clear that I am the possessor of the body and not the body. So my book, very clear that I am not the book, I am the possessor of the book. Then only I can say my book, is it not so? Similarly, we say my eyes, you go to the eye doctor, my ears, my hands, my legs, my speech, don't we say that? It's very clear that organs of perception, organs of action are mine, I am not that. What has happened to my mind today? Sometimes we say that. What has happened to my mind? That shows that I am aware of the mind. At that time I know that mind is mine. Means I am the possessor of the mind. So now and then we reveal this wisdom. Whenever we identify this body or sense organs or the mind as mine, that time we reveal the wisdom that I am the possessor of these faculties. I am not that. But you forget the next moment. And when you touch, don't touch me. I am touching your body. Don't touch me. When I say don't touch me, means what? I take myself to be the body. This is called identification. Thus, habitually, we get identified with the body even though it is our dwelling place. We get identified with the organs of perception even though they are like telephones. In an office, the telephones are the instrument with which I contact the world. So also my organs of perception, eyes, ears, etc. are the instruments with which I contact the world. I get the data from the world. My hands, legs, speech, organs of action are those with which I respond to the world. All of these are different instruments or organs, faculties given to me to conduct my day-to-day activities. The one who is using them must be different. Like a carpenter who comes with his box of tools. He comes home, takes out his tools and starts working with the tools. At that time he's called a carpenter. Comes evening, his work is over, he assembles all the tools, puts them all in the box. No more a carpenter, an ordinary person. So when the night comes, we assemble all our tools. At night, all the organs of action, organs of perception, mind, all of this is folded up. In the deep sleep, you put them in a box. When you are asleep, no activity is going on. The mind, organs of perception, organs, all of these are inactive. They are all put in a box. When I wake up in the morning, I open that box and start using the tools. Meaning that all these faculties are similar to the tools of a carpenter or an artisan. Carpenter is not the tools. And so I am not this. This is very clear. And still, habitually we become identified with them. Something happens to me. What has happened to me? Something happens to the mind. Mind becomes happy. I become happy. That's called identification of the mind. Happiness is a state of mind. And really speaking, I am the witness of the mind which is happy. And happiness also is a state of mind. I am the witness of the mind which is unhappy. What do I declare? I am happy. I am unhappy. What does that show? That shows my identification of mind. So that is why we are bound, otherwise am I ever free? But because of ignorance, this habit of identification, taking myself to be the body, taking myself to be the sense organs, taking myself to be the mind, it has become a habit. This habit is a product of what? Ignorance. So what we need to do, what is called sadhana or spiritual practice, is to become alert and assert this fact that I am not the mind, I am the witness of the mind. I am the witness of the body, witness of the sense organs, witness of the mind, which is what Lord Krishna is teaching here. But on account of the habitual identification of the mind, when the mind is sattvic, mind is tranquil, mind is cheerful, I say mind is happy, I say I am happy. That I am happy is called bondage. You follow? But I is free from happiness, I am consciousness, illuminate of everything. But when I declare myself I am happy, then I am confined to that little thing called happiness. See, I am happy always is accompanied with a sense of limitation. Even though happy is, you say, Swami, what is wrong with being happy? It's okay. But I am not happy. I am happiness. Happiness has no dimension. Happiness is limitless. Happy is a limited entity. Therefore, on account of identifying the sattvic mind, it is not that the mind binds me, understand. It is because of my habit of identifying with the mind that I become bound. If the mind binds me, I can never become free. But Lord Krishna will explain how we can become free by the process that we just explained. When the mind is predominant rajas, rajas means impurity. Ragadveshas are there, then the mind, then the water, pool of water is impure, the surface is disturbed. At that time, we cannot clearly see what is at the bottom. Similarly, when the mind is influenced by rajas, ragadveshas, likes and dislikes, anger, greed, etc., mind cannot clearly see, becomes unhappy. And I become restless. I become restless with my own self. I want to become free from the restlessness. And then there is a desire to do something. Therefore, that state of mind creates desires and activities. Rajoragatmakam viddhi trishna sanga samadbhavam. When the mind is predominant rajas, impurity, ragadvesha, then trishna, a longing or craving for things that I don't have. Asanga, and a strong attachment with the things that I have. So that's why I get bound. Those things are different from me, I am different from those things. But those things control me. Once a thought occurs in my mind that I want a car, this kind of a car, I must have it. In the beginning, when you watch on TV, it's good, looks good. So then again they show. In India also these commercials, when the motorbike is on, zoom, comes back, zoom. So 6 times you see that. When you see one thing again and again, then an idea is planted. Oh, looks nice, good, exciting. You imagine yourself doing that, zoom, zoom. You like it? I think it's good. Good idea to have it. Then, good idea to have it. Good idea. Then says, I want to have it. See, that thought builds up. I want to have it. Then, I must have it. I cannot do without it. See, the thought builds up in intensity. then the motorcycle is bound because now all the time the thoughts of the motorbike keep on arising in my mind. Even listening to talk, then motorbike will come. Working in office, motorbike comes. See, that thing is somewhere else, but how I am bound by attachment. It's called bondage, because that thing controls my mind, is it not so? Similarly, when I hate something, that thought also keeps on coming in my mind. Thus, things that are external to us, with which we have no connection, nevertheless control us because of the bonds of attachment and aversion. You see how the bondage happens. Otherwise I am free. That thing also is different, I am different from that. And still, because of my attachment and aversion, I empower those things to control me. By attachment and aversion, I empower them to disturb my mind, control my mind. You see, whenever we are meditating, doing japa, doing puja, you know what is that causes distraction? Swami, I can't concentrate my mind. I start doing japa, but my mind keeps on going here and there. You know what is that does it? This attachment and aversion. Attachment for something, so mind wants to think about it, is concerned about it. I hate something, then also mind thinks about it. How to avoid it? Poor Rama, Krishna, the names, no scope. So this is rajas. Tamas prajnanam viddhi. When the mind becomes tamasic, tamas means darkness, ignorance, slothfulness, laziness, inadvertence, distraction. So thus all thoughts are divided into three categories: sattva, rajas and tamas. And because they need not bother me, they need not bind me. But I bind myself by habitual identification with them. So sattvic thought binds me by creating this notion that I am happy or I am a knower. The rajas thought creates in me the notion that I am a doer, I am a doer. Tamas thought binds me by creating a notion that I am dull, I am deluded, I don't understand. Now in next three verses, Lord Krishna tells us what happens to us when the mind becomes predominant in sattva, rajas and tamas. One by one, Lord Krishna tells us. Let us read verse number 7. Sarvadvareshu dehesmin Prakasha upajayate Jnanam yada tada vidyat Vivruddham sattvamithyuta. You see, when the mind becomes sattvic, becomes free from all impurities, becomes pure, tranquil, transparent, then I am very clear about things. See, when the mind is predominant rajas, then it has a habit of projecting. A mind influence of rajas does not see things as they are, it projects something and sees. It colors things and sees. When the mind is sattvic, free from all colors, meaning that a sattvic mind sees things as they are. When the mind is pure, tranquil, clear, transparent, then we see things as they are. without projecting. Otherwise we project. You know what is projection? When the mind is an influence of attachment, raga, for aversion, dvesha, it's like wearing the glasses of raga dvesha. Then automatically I like this, I don't like it. I like this, I don't like it. Even the object has nothing in it which is likable or dislikable. Really. Can you say that this thing is something that is likable? I mean, this is something very uninteresting anyway. But let us take a beautiful car, you know. Is it not likable? Would not everybody like it? Because everybody will like, and there cannot be anything that will be liked by everybody, will that be? Or will there be something that will be disliked by everybody? Dislike and dislike are personal viewpoints, is it not so? I love ice cream. If ice cream is likable, everybody should love ice cream, is it not so? There are some people, unfortunate people, who don't care for ice cream, you know. I don't know how that is so, but there are people. And some people love pizza. Maybe I don't care about pizza. Suppose. It's quite possible, isn't it? Is there anything in the world which is liked by everybody? Cannot be. Or disliked by everybody? Even a Ravana will not be disliked by everybody. Mandodev likes him, you know. His own son likes him. Ravana is a hydra-headed demon. You think everybody will hate him? Everybody doesn't hate him. There is no person who is hated by everybody, no person loved by everybody. Even Lord Krishna is not loved by everybody. There was a person, a king called Shishupal. Every day he was uttering the foul words, 1,000 foul words for Lord Krishna. We have 1,000 names of praise for Lord Krishna. This fellow had made 1,000 names of abuse of Lord Krishna. He hated him. So there were people who hated Lord Krishna. Can you imagine that? All I am saying is, there is no such thing as likable, no such thing as dislikable. That I like something is my personal viewpoint, that I dislike something is my personal viewpoint. Is it not so? Because what I like today, I may not like tomorrow. What I dislike today, I may start liking tomorrow. There is no viewpoint, there is no order at all. There is, no consistency. What I like, you may dislike. What you dislike, I may like. In India, we are riding in a bus, in a state transport bus. Well, I'm riding a bus and some villager comes and sits beside me. He takes out his beedi or cigarette and starts lighting, producing the rings of smoke. Although it says no smoking, but people do anyway. Because the conductor himself smokes. The driver also smokes. So why not passengers also smoke? He loves smoking. You can see that from his face. That smoke has an uncanny knack of all coming to my nose and I hate it. So same thing loved by somebody is hated by somebody. Is it not so? So can you say there is something lovable? No, it's a viewpoint, personal viewpoint. Meaning I project lovability upon something and I like it. I project dislikability upon something and I dislike it. Tomorrow my mind, fanciful mind, may project likability upon the same thing and start liking it. And vice versa. So when the mind is under the influence of rajas, it always projects. Doesn't see things as it is. Usually see only one part of it and start liking or start hating. So we hate a person. Then the mind sees only negative things about that person, fails to see anything positive there. Sometimes we love a person, we can't see anything bad about it. About our own child, we love him. We can't say anything bad. See, he can't make any mistake. He goes to neighborhood children and beats them up and comes home and says, no, my child will never do. He must have done something. So when we like something, we can't see anything bad in that. When we hate something, we cannot see anything good in that. This is how our mind is. Meaning that it projects. It does not see things as they are. That is rajas. But when the mind is sattvic, free from raga, dvesha, attachment, aversion, then it becomes objective. Doesn't project, sees things as they are. That is the reason why we require a sattvic mind for knowledge. That is why Vedanta talks about antahkarana shuddhi, purification of the mind. For knowing our own self, it is important that we should make our mind free from this habit of projecting, attachment and aversion. The reason why the three qualities are described is so that we can understand what rajas is and get rid of it, what tamas is and get rid of it, what sattva is and we can encourage it. So now in this verse, Lord Krishna describes a mind which is predominant in sattva, which enjoys the tranquility, objectivity, when it sees things as they are. So that is called knowledge. What is knowledge, When I see things as they are. When I see things as different from what they are, it is called delusion, not knowledge. So what is lying in front of me is a rope. When I see the rope as a snake, it's not knowledge, it's what? Delusion. But seeing the rope as a rope is called knowledge. When would that happen? When mind is non-projecting. Mind is objective. Mind is sattvic. Saradvare shudesmin prakasha upajayate. And the mind becomes sattvic, becomes tranquil. At that time it is poised to see things as they are. And therefore, my faculties of perception, Saradvareshu, Dwara means the gates or doors. All the faculties of perception. You have 5 organs of perception. Organ of hearing, organ of touch, organ of sight, organ of taste, organ of smell. The 5 organs of perception with which we perceive or know or experience the 5-fold objects of the world. The world is made up of these 5 objects: sound, touch, colors, taste, smell. To enjoy them, experience them, we are given these 5 organs of perception. Mind is sattvic, I perceive things as they are. So that's called prakasha, light or knowledge. Very often knowledge is compared to light, because just as light dispels darkness, knowledge dispels ignorance, darkness of ignorance. So when the mind is poised to see things as they are through all gates of perception, understand that your mind is predominant in sattva. With that mind, if we listen to the scriptures, the meaning becomes very clear to us. With that mind, when you contemplate, becomes clear. With that mind, we can meditate. With that mind, we can contemplate. With that mind, we can listen. With that mind, we can know. Therefore, that kind of mind is the most desirable mind. However, when the mind becomes predominant in rajas, what happens? The next verse tells us. Lobha pravrittirarambha karmanamashamaspruha rajasyetani jayante vivruddhe bharatarshava. Second line says, Rajasi etani jayante vivruddhe bharatarshava. Bharatarshava is the address to Arjuna, who foremost in line of Bharata. Arjuna. So Lord Krishna uses beautiful names for Arjuna. Because encourages Arjuna. How great he is. He Bharatarshava, who foremost in line of Bharata. Vivruddhe Rajasi. When the Rajoguna Vivruddhe becomes predominant, meaning that when the mind is overcome by the quality Rajas, then how do we know? Lobha, pravritti, arambha karmanam, ashamaha, spruha. 5 things are told. These are signs of Rajoguna. Then we know in our mind, Rajoguna has come. Lobha is called greed. What is greed? Greed is not being satisfied with what we have. Desiring more and more. So more desires are satisfied, more the mind desires. So that's called greed. I have $1 million. When I did not have anything, I just wanted $25,000. When I had that, I wanted $100,000. Had that, I wanted $1 million. When I have that, I want multi-million. That's the nature of greed. Wants more. So dissatisfaction with what we have. Wants more and more. Oh, greed also can be the desire to grab what somebody has. Somebody has the wealth, I want that. So that's called lobha. Greed also means the unwillingness to part with what I have. Greed has 2 aspects. Not being satisfied with what I have, and secondly, unwillingness to part with what I have. Even though I know there is somebody who is needy, he deserves what I have, he is more needy than what I have, then I can spare this, and still my mind does not want to part with it. Wants to hold on to it. Feels very insecure. What will happen if I give away? And so the mind, as I say, in India when you are driving your car, at every intersection, the car has to stop for a couple of minutes. From nowhere, some children come. And outside your window, the car, some kind of things they do, meaning that, I'm in pain, I'm suffering, and creating pity in us. That's how they act. So then you feel, okay, he creates pity, you want to get rid of him. So you want to pull out a 10 rupee note and give him. So first thought is give him 10 rupees. But by the time I reach out for my purse, no, 5 rupees is enough. If I open the purse, 2 rupees is okay. No, that's too much for him. So ultimately I wind up giving him 25 paisa, 1/4 of a rupee. Even though a lot of money is there in my purse, I cannot part with it. That is called greed. I am not satisfied with what I have and cannot part with what I have. This is greed. This is Rajoguna. You know what the greed does? It drives me to get more and more, do more and more. This unfortunate arithmetic of the worldly things then you get more money. Actually, more money comes, more the mind desires. It's amazing thing. One can never be satisfied with what? With money. Nobody can be satisfied. With money, with power, with name, fame, with all of this, there can never be satisfaction. More you have, more you want. Isn't that a funny thing? Usually more you have, less you would want. More you eat, less you would want, is it not so? Because the time comes when your stomach is full, now you don't want any more. You are satisfied. But the stomach of the mind never gets filled with any amount of money, name, fame, power. This is the nature of the worldly things. That's the greed. Greed is there in all of us. So what this capitalistic system does is it sets people into competition. They act one against the other and so create competition. They invoke the greed in me. And then they give me a carrot, show me a carrot, some incentive. So I work hard to get that. Gives a little carrot. I work hard, another carrot. I work hard, another carrot. Thus, by invoking greed, I'm become a machine. And this machine of greed makes me work harder and harder and harder. At my cost, those fellows produce more and more. The compensation I get is much less than what I produce naturally. If I produce $1 million for a company, I'm going to give you $1 million. They'll give me $500 or $1,000. So that is how the capitalistic system works. Everybody becomes exhausted. Everybody is just stressed out. And nobody is satisfied. Everybody is insecure. And they work on your insecurity. Keep you always on your toes. You're always threatened. If you don't reach this target, you are out. You don't do this, you know. And there other people always keep on pushing themselves. So pravrutte, constant activity. Karmanam, arambha, you take one project after the other. I want to build a house. Huge house, not an ordinary house. How many? 7 bedrooms, 6,500 square feet or whatever, with a complete basement and this, that, will last for several long, couple of years. That big projects they take. Rajogun means what? Karmanam arambha. You take one thing after the other. And one thing is finished, the mind comes up with something else. One project after the other. One thing to do after the other. This is done, next one is waiting in line. That is done, other is waiting in line. Swami, we have to now take care of this house, we have to renovate it. It's done, now we should get the furniture needs to be changed. That is done. I think we need to paint this house. That is done. I think we need new carpet. That is done. I think our compound wall needs to be changed. That is done. I think our backyard and things, they need to be done. That's done. I think we need to plant some new things. That is done. I think then we need some different surface, need different kind of facing, I think that we need to add one garage. We need to add one sunroom.
Home theater.
Huh?
Home theater.
Home theater. All right. Comes with one thing after the other. In fact, the greed I keep driving myself. Karunam, ashama, mind is restless, ashama. Spruha and longing for one. I see that. I see this person wearing this dress, I want it. I see they're wearing that car, I want it. So therefore they display everything in the showrooms. And when we take a walk during the lunch on the 5th Avenue, I want this, I want that, I want this. On the TV, all commercials keep on coming. I want this, I want that. That's why they show these toys to children. They know very well. So child says, I want this, I want that. It's all rajas. Rajas Chaitanya Jayante. So when this happens to our mind, we should know that this is the characteristic of Rajas. What happens when the mind is predominant in Tamas? Next verse is. Aprakasho pravrittischa pramado moha eva cha tamasyetani jayante vivruddhe kuru nandana. Arjuna's now name is what? Kuru Nandana. Nandana means a joy, one who gives joy. It's called Nandana. Nanda means joy, Nandana, giving joy. So Gokula Nandana or Yadunandana. Whose names are these? Yadunandana. Lord Krishna. Here Kuru Nandana. The one who gives joys to the Kurus means Arjuna. Tamasyetani jayanti vivruddhehe Arjuna. When the tamogun becomes predominant, then your mind feels like this. Aprakasha. Aprakasha, dullness. Prakasha means light. Light means knowledge. So mind is then a mode opposed to knowledge. It just cannot grasp anything, cannot understand. When the mind is predominant tamas, then we hear all right. But then mind cannot understand anything, cannot grasp anything. The words do not reveal their meaning in their mind. Aprakasha. Apravritti. So even though all the means of knowledge are present, the teacher is talking to us, I am listening, everything is there for me to know. But the mind, because of tamas, just cannot grasp, cannot understand. It goes above. Aprakasha. Apravritti. Lack of activity. I know that this is to be done. I know very well this is to be done. I have to go to work today. In the morning, every morning, this struggle. The alarm rings, I shut it off, I sleep for half an hour more, I'm woken up, another half an hour, I know that I have to go to work. I don't just feel like doing it. Apravritti, I know what is to be done, but the mind is in no mood to do it. Apravritti. Pramada. Pramada we explained yesterday, doing, just whiling away the time. Not doing what is to be done and whiling away the time. Watch TV and read a novel. Call or make phone calls. See this chat on WhatsApp. Because the mind is such that it doesn't feel like doing anything worthwhile, it just whiles away. All the useless activities, it just squanders the time. Pramada. Moha, delusion. Not only you don't understand, you understand opposite of what is being told. This is all called tamas. So Lord Krishna in this chapter explains beautifully the dispositions of our mind. Our mind is made up of three dispositions, sattva, rajas and tamas. And tells us what are the characteristics of these qualities. So if you live a sattvic life, a rajas life, tamas life, what happens to you? In the next verse, Lord Krishna tells us. Urdhvam gachanti sattvasthaः madhye tishtanti rajasaः Jaganya gunavrittisthaha adho gachanti tamasaha. So what happens to this person after death? So understand that the life continues after the death. Death is the death of the body. So as Vedanta explains, really nothing dies. Everything continues in one form or the other. So what is death? Death is when the indweller of this body departs from this body. How long the indweller remains here? As long as the destiny is. So we are born with certain destiny, and so long we remain in this body. When the destiny is over, I depart from this body and take up a new embodiment. So what kind of an embodiment will I take up? Depending upon what kind of a life I have lived here. If I have lived a life with a mind that generally enjoys sattva, meaning that I have been a sattvic person. Who is a sattvic person? One who is a giver, a contributor, a kind, compassionate person. So another thing we should know, that when the mind becomes sattvic or pure, all the divine virtues which are within us, they become manifest. In a sattvic mind, the kindness, compassion, charity, goodness, non-violence, all these noble qualities automatically manifest. Because that is our true nature. By nature, we are all kind, loving, compassionate, dutiful people. Each one of us, without exception. When the mind becomes sattvic, then it reveals what the true nature is. And therefore, all my divine virtues become evident. Therefore, when a person has lived a life of contribution, of compassion, of kindness, of giving, then the devotion, shraddha, bhakti, the faith, devotion, all of these, manifest in my mind. A person like that is a natural karma yogi, he is a devotee of the Lord. So when you live a life like that, what happens? Lord Krishna says, after departing his body, you keep on rising up. Urdhvam gacchandi sattvasthaha. So those who are abiding in sattva, urdhvam gacchandi, they go up. Up can be either way. Up means either you get superior embodiments like devatas, gods, etc. Or you go up meaning spiritually you rise further. You are on the track of spiritual growth, track of moksha. Therefore, being sattvic, we should cultivate the sattva guna with all our efforts. That's the whole idea. This is a lesson that we have to learn. Urdhvam gacchandi sattvastha. Those abiding in sattva go up. Madhye tishtandi rajasa. Those who are predominant rajas remain where they are. Adho gacchandi tamasa. And those who are predominant tamas go down. So what does Vedanta teach? What is our real purushartha or self-effort? What is self-effort that a human being has to make? Is slowly to transform our mind from tamas to rajas, from rajas to sattva. How do we do that? When the mind is tamasic, then doesn't want to do things even though there is something to be done. There is kartavya, my duty, mind has no motivation at all, no initiative at all. You have to whip up that mind and engage it into the duty, into what is to be done. So mind which is tamasic, which is dull, inactive, has to be whipped into the right activity. This will become active person. When active person, that is rajas. Then you have to become sattvic. How do you do? You slowly change your activities from a consumer to a rajasic person is a consumer. Person with rajas is always a desire. He wants more and more. He is a consumer. A sattvic person is a contributor. So transform yourself from being a consumer to a contributor. A rajasic person says, when somebody comes before him, he says, how can I use this person? A rajas person always wants to use. A sattvic person says, how can I be useful to this person? How can I use this person? How can I be useful to the person? So then next step is to transform ourselves from being consumer to a contributor. That transforms the mind from rajas to sattva. That is called Antahakana Shuddhi. That's called Karma Yoga. So that's a program that Bhagavad Gita gives us. From tamas to rajas, rajas to sattva. And then with knowledge you transcend sattva also. That's what the next verse tells us. Nanyam gunebhyah kartaram yada drashtanupashyate gunebhyascha param vetti madbhavam sodhi gacchati. And the mind becomes sattvic. So first requirement for knowledge is sattva. So what is Lord Krishna teaching here? Is to create a distance. The distance is already there. But because of ignorance, the distance is as though erased. Just as when an actor plays the role of a beggar, actor has put on the costume of beggar, then actor is different, costume is different, isn't it so? There is already a distance. But because of intoxication, the actor may think, I am a beggar. When there are two, the distance is erased because of ignorance. So what is knowledge? Create the distance. What's the distance? I am the actor, I am not the beggar. Beggar is the attribute of the costume. Who am I? I am the one who is wearing this costume, the witness of the costume. This is Lord Krishna says. What does the wise man say? So what do we have to do? Create a distance with our mind. Right now become one with it because of ignorance, identified with it. So de-identify. And realize, right now what do I say? I am a doer of the action. What do I say? I am the enjoyer of a situation. Right now I declare myself a karta and bhokta. Karta means a doer. Bhokta means an experiencer. Whereas Atma, the self, is neither doer nor experiencer. The self is merely a witness and illuminator. But because of identification of the mind, it is mind that does things. I say, I am doing it. It's the mind that experiences things. I say, I am the experiencer. So these are the notions that I am entertaining right now. I am the doer, I am karta, I am the experiencer, I am bhokta. Karta and bhokta, kartrutva, bhoktrutva. Lord Krishna just create the distance. So wise person creates a distance of knowledge. What distance? Distance of knowledge. The actor creates a distance with a beggar. What's the distance? Distance of knowledge. Because there is no physical separation between the actor and the beggar, it is a distance of knowledge. The distance was erased because of ignorance, and distance is created by knowledge. So just as the actor says, I am not the beggar, so also I say, I am not the mind. Who performs all the actions? The mind performs actions. Who gains all experiences? The mind gains experience. Who am I? I am simply a witness. I am just an illuminator. Neither a doer nor an experiencer. I am neither a karta nor a bhokta. Who does things? The mind does it. The three gunas do it. What is mind? Sattva, rajas and tamas. Together is called mind. So, gunebhya kartaram. The wise person says that all the actions are performed by the three gunas. The Sattva guna performs sattvic actions, Rajo guna performs rajasic actions, Tamo guna performs tamasic actions. What is sattvic action? Action of a contributor, action of a charitable person, action of a compassion. That are also actions. Compassionate person, they are sattvic actions. That also I don't perform. That also is performed by the mind. Rajas action. The fellow is greedy, aggressive, a grabber. Sattvic person is a giver. A Rajas person is a grabber. I don't grab. The mind is a grabber. Mind has greed. Mind is grabbing. Mind has restlessness. I don't have. What is the tamasic person? He is a cruel person. He hurts other people. He is a violent person. So that's a state of the mind. It's not I who does this. All actions are performed by the mind, by the three gunas. Who am I? I am just a witness, different from them. Gunebhyascha param veti. This wise person sees this fact that all actions are performed by the three gunas, knowing the mind, and I am the witness of the mind. I am the witness of all the actions. He becomes free. The person who is free becomes free. Just as the actor, because of identification with the costume, became a beggar and was suffering, now he says, I am not a beggar. Beggar belongs to the costume. Who am I? I am the actor. I am a wealthy person. You are free. So how the distance he creates, he becomes what now? The spectator of the movie. Where is the movie? The mind is the movie. The mind that brings up the variety of thoughts. And he is what? A spectator, a witness. So next verse explains that to us. Prakasham cha pravrittim cha mohameva cha pandava nadveshti sampravrittani nanivrittani kankshade. Prakasham cha pravrittim cha mohameva cha pandava. Lord Krishna says that three kinds of thoughts take place in our mind. What three kinds? Three kinds of thoughts take place in our mind. What are the three kinds? Sattvic, rajasic, tamasic. Born of sattva, born of rajas, born of tamas. Lord Krishna uses different words for them. Prakasham, when the thought of knowledge takes place, that is sattva. Pravrittim, lot of activity takes place, thought of activity, rajas. Moha, thought of delusion takes place, tamas. Even the wise person's mind also, these thoughts do take place. So usually the thoughts will be sattvic. But sometimes the thought of activity does take place. because it does perform some actions. Sometimes wise person also feels sleepy. And therefore the sort of tamas also can take place. Or sometimes there can be delusion. You also can see snake where there is rope. Possible. So just as thought takes place in our mind, thoughts also take place in the mind of the wise person. Not the same kind of thoughts. I'm sure that in his mind there is essentially sattvic thought. Now and then a thought of rajas also can come. Now and then thought of tamas also can come. But what is his attitude? In my mind, when a thought of sattva takes place, I'm happy. I want to retain that thought. When that thought goes away, I become unhappy. Isn't it? When rajas comes, it disturbs me. I become unhappy. I don't want that thought. When that thought comes, I become unhappy. I don't want it. I have an aversion for that thought. See, it's very interesting how we relate with our own thoughts with attachment and aversion. Some thoughts we love, some thoughts we hate. Some thoughts were indifferent. That's how we get bound with the thoughts. An wise person neither hates nor loves, neither attachment nor aversion. What is he? He is objective. A thought is a thought. See, when we watch movie, either we become, we go along with the movie. Happy, unhappy, all moods keep on changing. I think that's why people go to watch movies. But then those people who are really watching movies, they say, those who evaluate the movies, how the acting is, they are totally objective. They do not get controlled by, they don't get controlled by the emotion. Is it not so? Otherwise you can't watch the acting. Ideally the actor is the one who should not be overcome by any emotions. He expresses all emotions. Inside, he should be free from all emotions. Then only it can be called acting, otherwise not acting. He becomes that. Actor does not become, actor acts. So even though outwardly he may be acting as a villain, as a criminal, inside he is not. Outwardly he acts as he's so unhappy, he's sad. Inside he is not. Outwardly he is jumping with joy. Inside is what he is. Is it not so? I think so, I don't know. I have never acted. But I did ask somebody who is an expert. I asked, how do the actors feel? Then this one says, Swamiji, actors must be actors. They cannot be overcome by their emotions. Otherwise it's not acting, it is becoming. So an ideal actor is the one, even though he displays all kinds of emotions, he remains free from those emotions. There is a distance between himself and his mind and those emotions. So also the wise person has a distance between himself and the mind. Let the mind come with any thoughts. Sometimes sattvic thought, okay. Rajas thought, okay. Tamas thought, okay. Okay means what? Let them come and go. When it comes, I don't welcome it. When it goes, I don't stop it. Is what? Totally indifferent to those things. And therefore, next verse tells us, Udasinavadasinah Gunaiyo na vichalyate Gunavartanta ityeva Yovatishthati nengade. So this person, this wise person is simply watching the mind, watching the movie of the mind and enjoying it, if you say. Just as we watch the movie. When it's called watching the movie, when I'm a watching person. When I'm a spectator, then it's called watching the movie, watching the game. When we are spectators to the game, then we are watching the game. Very often we are not spectators to game. We become the game. So when we go to see these raptors, what is it? Tonight. I don't know any name of any players, but these fellows know all names of all players. And when he shoots, he jumps with joy. So he becomes the game. He doesn't watch game. Anyway, that's why they must be going, I guess. But then watching is what? Just watching. Not becoming. So also the different thoughts arise in the mind. He says all play of the thoughts, play of the mind, play of the Prakriti, play of the matter, play of Maya, play of thoughts, play of the gunas, play of the qualities. They play. They do things. They experience things. They create. They sustain. Who am I? I am simply a witness. Uninvolved witness. That alone is called witness who is uninvolved, you know. If witness is involved, is not called a witness. So when they call you as a witness in the court of law, hopefully you are uninvolved. If you are a party to something, you are not called a witness. Very often the witnesses turn out to be like that. Witness cannot be a party, is it not so? These two fellows are doing something, whatever they are doing. One hitting the other, or I don't know, some accident, whatever took place. Who is the witness? Uninvolved person. Doesn't take anybody's side, isn't it? So, na kasyachit paksham bhajate. Does not take anybody's side. Neither attachment nor aversion. Neither partiality nor cruelty. That's called objectivity. He's objective, sees things as they are. The wise person sees things as they are. And what is reality? Reality is that it is this whole universe is the play of the Prakriti, of the matter. My thoughts are the play of the mind. And he just watches that play. So, Udasina means what? Uninvolved witness. He is like an uninvolved witness to the thoughts taking place in his mind, the play of the mind. We get disturbed, we get in fact distracted from ourselves. When a good thought comes, I get distracted, I say, hey, I like it, stay here. When a bad thought comes, again I get disturbed, I don't want it. I keep on reacting to different events. I keep on reacting to different thoughts. I keep on reacting. This one does not react. He remains what? This one is an insensitive person. No, not insensitive. Not unemotional. He is objective. He knows that he is different from all of them. I am a witness and the illuminator of all of them. Uninvolved in them. Udasina vadasina gunaiyo na vichalyate. Na vichalyate. One is not distracted. One is not disturbed. He remains abiding in his own nature. Just as an actor. Whether he is begging, he remains actor. On the side, remains actor. Somebody gives him something, does not give him something, remains in his mind, remains unmoved. Guna vartante ityeva. I don't perform any action. Who performs action? This wise person says, I do not do anything. He says, hey, but you are doing it. You are performing the act of speaking. What did he say? I don't do anything. But are you not speaking? Isn't speaking an action? You are looking at me. I am not performing the action of seeing. You are hearing me. I am not performing action of hearing. So he is hearing, seeing, talking, walking, eating, drinking. He is doing all these regular day-to-day activities, and still what does he say? Naiva kinchit karometi. I do not do anything. Yukto manyeta tattvavit. If tattvavit, the wise person sees that I don't do anything. Pashyan, shrunuman, sprishan, jigran, while seeing, while hearing, while touching, tasting, smelling, performing all the activities we see him doing, he says, I do not do anything. Then who does all these activities? Who speaks? I don't speak. Then who speaks? It is my organ of speech that is speaking. Who is watching? My organ of eyes that is watching. Who is hearing? The organ of hearing is what hears. I am not a hearer. Hearing takes place in my presence. I am not a seer. Seeing takes place in my presence. I am not a speaker. Speaking takes place in my presence. Speaking takes place. When speaking takes place, what do I say? I am a speaker. What does the wise person say? Speaking takes place in my presence. Who am I? I am just a conscious presence. In whose presence everything happens. I do not do anything. It is the organ of speech, interacting with the words, that's called speaking. Organ of eyes, interacting with colors, that's called seeing. Or hands, interacting with other things, called acting, action. In all of this, I do not do anything. Guna vartante tyeva yovatishtari naingate. He abides in his own nature and does not get deviated, does not get distracted from his nature. He remains abiding in his nature. Who am I? I am Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. Chit, I am the consciousness. Ananda, I am the happiness. Shiva, I am the auspiciousness. Mind, let it think. Not think. Intellect can think. Mind can remember. Hands can do things. Speech can do something else. That all these things do what they are doing. Who am I? I am just a witness. It is I who illumines them. In my presence these things happen. But I do not do anything. The distinction is there between the subject and the object. Just as an actor is very clear that he is begging but not begging. You ask the actor, are you begging? He says, yes and no. Hey, we see you begging. He says, from the spectator's standpoint, I am begging. From my own standpoint, he is not begging. Is it not so? He is crying and still not crying. He is crying from the standpoint of the spectators. From his own standpoint, he is not crying. Is it not so? Doing and still not doing, because he has created a distance of knowledge. It is very clear to him that all action take place at the level of the role. And who am I? I am the one who plays the role, different from the roles. Thus a distance between the role and the actor playing the role. That's all that is taught here. That's what we need to do. Lord Krishna says he becomes me. Because he attains me, he becomes liberated. So how do they behave? How do they respond in the day-to-day activities? Next verse tells us. Mana pamanayos tulyah tulyo mitrari pakshayo sarvarambha parityagi gunatitasya uchyate. Mana apamanayos tulya. Coming back to our actor and the beggar. The actor is performing the act of begging. He's sitting on the sidewalk, his cloth spread in front of him, Some people throw a coin, some people just walk by, some people advise him, some people insult him, some people even respect him. Oh, he's an old man. Somebody respects him, somebody insults him. He reacts as a beggar, he reacts, but inside him, as an actor, whether he is respected, disrespected, honor, dishonor, he is free from all the reactions. As an actor, is it not so? Mana apamanayos tulya. He says that this honor is given to the beggar, not to me. So he is king, then he is honored. Honor is given to the role, not to me. As a beggar, he is insulted. The insult is given to the role, not to me. Tulyo mitrari pakshayoho. As a king, several friends come to him. As a beggar, several enemies come to him. The king also may have friends and enemies. Beggar also may have friends and enemies. Outwardly, he interacts very well as the role calls for, as the script calls for. Actor plays his role very well according to the script. But within him, he is totally uninvolved, free from the effect of honor and dishonor. Friend also is only in acting. Enemy also is only in the role. In reality, no friend, no enemy. Tulyo mitrari. Similar to the wise person also. Does not look upon somebody as a friend, does not look upon somebody as an enemy. Then how does he look at them? He does not look upon anybody as a friend, does not look upon anybody as an enemy. How do you think he must be looking upon them? Yesterday we said that when Ishvara created this universe, he entered, he is playing all these countless roles. The costumes are all different, but the one playing the role is the same. Ishvara, the self. So who is playing all these roles? Who is Ishvara? Myself. So who is playing all the roles really? Like looking at myself in 100 mirrors, I look like 100 Swamis. Who are they? Myself. So all are different mirrors. They all look different, but who is the real thing inside? The same self. So now, what the world calls a friend, what does he call? Myself. World calls enemy. What does it say? Myself. World calls honor. Dishonor. There cannot be honor and dishonor in the self. I cannot honor myself. I cannot dishonor myself. I cannot be a friend of myself. I cannot be an enemy of myself. A wise person who sees the self everywhere, for him the honor and dishonor, the friend and the enemy, all of these are the samatvam. He has a sameness for everything because sameness arises from seeing his own self. Does he need to do anything now? He has done in his life what all needs to be done. Sarvarambha parityagi. He now has given up all endeavors. He has no agenda left for himself. So arambha means what? Actions performed to fulfill his agenda. No agenda left, therefore no actions are undertaken to fulfill his agenda. But Swamiji, we find wise people also doing a lot of activities. Here Lord Krishna says he doesn't take upon any activities, but he does not take up activities for his agenda. He can perform activities to fulfill agenda of others. That also he does not do. That's the thought given in his mind by Ishvara. He has become an instrument in the hands of the Lord. Just as in the hands of Lord Krishna, there is a flute. And the flute lets Lord Krishna play whatever tunes or whatever rhythms. He wants to play. So also wise person is an instrument in the hands of the Lord. And it is Ishvara who decides what he does. He doesn't have any agenda at all. He identifies the agenda of the Lord. And so Sarva Arambha Parityagi, he has no personal agenda, no any activity taken to fulfill personal agenda. Gunati tasya uchyate. Here in this chapter, the wise person of Gunatita, who has transcended the gunas, transcended the mind by creating distance with the mind or the gunas. And the last verse is, Swamiji, how can we become like this? What's the means of becoming a wise person, a Gunatita? So the last verse tells us that. Mam chayo vyavicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatityayitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. More Krishna says, Mam sevate, one who worships me. Bhakti yogena, by the yoga of bhakti. Avyavicharena bhakti yogena mam sevate. One who worships me with unswerving devotion. So unswerving devotion for the Lord. What is unswerving devotion? We are all devotees of the Lord also. We are all what? Part-time devotees. Morning at 6 o'clock, a bout of devotion. I perform some puja, some meditation, something. Half an hour, 45 minutes, that's done. I'm off to work, off to my day. That's it. Come home in the evening, maybe another part-time devotee, 15-20 minutes. Why? Because I have many Swamiji, we have lots of things to do. We cannot afford to be all the time doing japa and puja and this and so. Who will do all these activities? So, we have many things to do. We have lots of agenda. So we are bhaktas all right, but we are bhaktas of 1500 things. Morning, bhakta of Lord. Then later, bhakta of my car. Bhakta of my boss, bhakta of my job, bhakta of my salary, bhakta of my family, bhakta of my wife, whatever. Our devotion or commitment keeps on changing. So we are devotees all right. Because to be devoted in the nature of mind, so to every moment we are devoted to something or the other. To what? That which we consider as the most important. At a given point in time, whatever is the most important to me, I am automatically devoted to that. What is important keeps changing. My husband is important, wife is important, son is important, bank account is important, job is important, promotion is important, my car is important, friend is important, movie is important, game is important, etc. Lord Krishna says, no, Avyavicharena. He is devoted only to me and to nobody else. Meaning that we have to slowly transform our devotion from millions of things to slowly all converge into one. Recognizing that really I have only one goal in my life. I should understand that the desire behind all the desires is only one. My mind thinks that I desire, I need many things. I need only one thing, and that is Ishvara. So more I understand that, more Ishvara becomes important to me. If Ishvara becomes the most important to me, then I become only his devotee. Then devotion is a means of attaining what? So in the life also we can attain something only when we are devoted. Is it not so? You can pass a bar examination or your board examination provided you are devoted to that. You can do anything only when you are devoted. Otherwise there is no quality in your work. So it is our experience that in order for me to accomplish anything, We should pour our heart and soul into that. Is it not so? That's called devotion. So similarly, to achieve the goal of life, we have to pour our heart and soul in that. The goal of life is the Lord, is the knowledge. Pamcho avyavicharena bhakti yogena sevate. Lord Krishna says, those who worship me as the very self, for unswerving devotion, sagunan svatitye, they slowly become free from the influence of the mind and the gunas and the world and the maya, and slowly gain an abidance in me and become liberated. They become me. So that's how this 14th chapter, basically chapter for knowledge. Knowledge of the self. How does the knowledge of self happen? By creating a distance from the self, from the non-self. What's the non-self? The mind. What's the mind? The three gunas, the three dispositions, the three moods. That's why Lord Krishna explained the three moods, thereby explained the mind, thereby we explained what the mind does, explaining the Atma does not do anything, create a distance. That's how you gain the knowledge, abide in the silence, you gain the liberation. So Lord Krishna introduced this chapter by saying that, hey Arjuna, again I will delineate to you the knowledge, which is liberating knowledge, gaining which the contemplative sages become liberated. So that is this knowledge of the self and the non-self. Gunati, knowing the self as the witness of the gunas, different from the gunas, transcending the gunas. Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Make an announcement? Yeah.